Your money mission tip of the day today is today specifically is a great opportunity to invest in both precious metals and in precious metals mining stocks. Now let me give you a little bit of background. I'm going to make this video a little bit longer today. You know that I'm an advocate for precious metals. They are a safe haven. They're a real safe haven. They can preserve your wealth, right? You're not going to buy them and get rich with them, but you are going to protect what savings you have. Now, the mining stocks are a little bit different because those are businesses, and those are more risky. However, there's also more potential reward. So if you're more risk averse, just purchase and invest in precious metals. And if you're more risk tolerant, you can put some money into the mining stocks. Now, again, I've never advocated that you put all your money in a particular asset or asset class, but I want to make sure that you know right now is a good opportunity to buy, and here's the reason why. So recently, we've seen an increase in interest rates. Now, the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates, and that's also causing long-term interest rates to rise. The Fed, the central bank, only has indirect control over long-term interest rates. Those are more determined by supply and demand in the market. However, as part of their fight against inflation, they're doing what's called reducing the size of the balance sheet. That means they aren't holding as many long-term bonds on their balance sheet. They're selling them into the market, or they're letting them mature and what they call roll off their balance sheet. When they do that, that means there's less buyers in the market for that. And that's one of the reasons why the yields, the interest rate on the long end of the bond market, right, the long-term bonds are rising. That's causing the prices to fall, right? So if you're invested in long-term bonds, the value of your assets are going down. That's why I've recommended not owning them, at least not right now. Don't buy them right now. They're still too expensive and they're in a bear market. Now, the reason why I mention precious metals as being a good opportunity is because there's fear in the market today, and there may be for the next few weeks. Obviously, it goes in cycles, but what you want to do is you want to buy when prices are lower, obviously. Precious metals have a tendency sometimes to sell off when the broader market sells off too. But they usually rebound much faster, and the reason why is because of the long-term trend in them. Right now, there's also surprise amongst economists that employment is doing well, right? They're saying, hey, we got interest rates higher, they've been higher for longer, and our job market is still doing really well. During my interview with Sam Burns last week, one of the things that he emphasized was that a lot of people have overlooked the fiscal side of the economy, right? The spending that the federal government has done to boost the economy. So a lot of spending has taken place through the Infrastructure Act and the Inflation Reduction Act. A lot of that money is being spent, which is boosting the economy. But again, that's all borrowed money. When interest rates are rising, the federal government isn't going to be able to borrow as much money in the future. They're either going to have to raise taxes or cut spending. Both of those aren't good for, growth, if you will. And as a result of that, they're going to be resistant to doing that. Those who are in power don't want a recession to come. They want to prevent a recession from happening on their watch. As a result, they're going to want to borrow more, and that's going to cause interest rates to go up even more. At a certain point, this is going to cause too much pressure on the Fed. They're not going to be able to continue their inflation fight. They talk tough, but if rates keep rising, that is going to continue to put a lot of pressure on the financial system. And it's going to cause a lot more banks to fail. It could potentially cause a collapse in the economy. And if that were to happen, if we have massive bank failures, if we have a huge potential deflationary crash, there's no way the Fed is going to keep raising rates saying, got to keep fighting inflation. They're not going to do that. There's going to be too much political pressure on them and social pressure on them to reverse course. And when that happens, then they're going to have to put the inflation fight on hold. That is the key inflection point. We haven't quite reached that point yet, and that's why right now is a good time to buy precious metals, because they've actually gone down a little bit in price, which is a gift to those that are able to buy some at the present time. Remember, this is a hedge against inflation, future inflation, and future inflation is likely to go much higher. So remember this, buy only with your risk tolerance and keeping your risk tolerance in mind. Please post a question or a comment, send me a private message if you want to talk about it privately. You can even comment below about your feelings about the market right now. Like this video, share it with your friends, and until next time, I wish you unlimited success.